Hello, and welcome to the DSO Hygienist Podcast. I'm your host, Christine Deal. I'm a practicing clinical hygienist and dental hygiene instructor with over 30 years of experience. I am an advocate for dental hygienists working in the DSO space. This podcast is an invaluable resource for dental hygienists aiming to excel in their roles and for other dental professionals seeking a deeper understanding of the opportunities and intricacies within the DSO environment. Whether you want to refine your skills, stay up to date on industry innovations, or find inspiration in your career journey, the DSO hygienist offers practical advice and meaningful perspective. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Twice as Nice Uniforms. Dressing for success, infection control, and comfort is crucial for the DSO team. Not only do they need to look great and feel great, but they need to be dressed for safety. Your patients will notice when your team is dressed appropriately, and your staff will perform better. Who better to help your team with these decisions than Twice as Nice Uniforms? Owned by a seasoned dental hygienist, branding expert, fit specialist, and fashion model, Twice as Nice Uniforms are designed to follow infection control and OSHA regulations, alleviate the thermostat wars in your office with temperature-regulating technology, and provide long-lasting, professional-looking scrubs, lab coats, and accessories. Custom uniform programs will take the burden of painstaking ordering, exchanges, and returns off your shoulders. It's proudly made in the USA. And Twice as Nice is giving our listeners a discount code TDH2024 to take advantage of this special offer. For over 25 years, Debora and Darla, collectively known as the CPR Sisters, have been dedicated and passionate instructors, as well as trainer instructors specializing in CPR and First Aid. Drawing on their backgrounds in dentistry and education, they have developed a unique teaching methodology that combines traditional instruction with innovative virtual approaches. Their educational philosophy emphasizes delivering life-saving skills in a serious yet approachable manner, which has proven highly effective with their clients. Throughout their careers, the CPR Sisters have actively participated in grassroots initiatives to install automated external defibrillators, AEDs, in areas frequented by children. They have also contributed to a $1 million grant initiative aimed at spreading CPR education nationwide and have consistently promoted the importance of CPR and the strategic placement of AEDs in public venues. Their contributions to community health and safety have been recognized by various community organizations and by the Nader Parman Memorial Fund. They aspire to inspire others through their proactive efforts. In their personal lives, Debora and Darla, who are siblings, enjoy traveling with their families and believe that the importance of family is fundamental in achieving both success and happiness. I'd like to welcome Deb to the DSO Hygienist Podcast. Welcome, Deb.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you because I know you're doing a new venture and I really want to hear all about it. So why did you go from being a dental hygienist to now a CPR instructor?
Well, so I've been a CPR instructor for 25 years, but most people don't know that about me. They know me for my other business, my uniform business. I've been a hygienist for over 40 years. And like a lot of hygienists, about 10, 15 years into my career, I was starting to get the aches and pains because back then we didn't have all the ergonomic stuff that we have now, and getting just a little bored with what I was doing and thinking about what are some other things that I want to do. I didn't want to leave hygiene, but I just knew I didn't want to do it full time anymore. I always loved every 2 years when the CPR instructor would come in to do our recertification. I would get so excited about it. My teammates thought I was weird, but I had to make sure I got 100 on the written test. It was all about our emergency procedures. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to look into it, see what it takes to become an instructor. I called the American Heart Association and got signed up and went down that route.
How did you make the transition to that?
So that's a little scary when you go from working full time and then thinking, I got to make a leap of faith. I've got to make an investment. But the good thing with being a CPR instructor is a lot of times it's in evenings and weekends. So I was able to slowly transition from one to the other. And my sister is my business partner. When I told her what I was doing, she was like, well, I'm going to do that too. And I said, well, I don't know if they'll take you because you usually have to have a medical background to become an instructor, but she's an educator. And so we talked to American Heart and they said yes, which turned out to be the best thing that could ever happen. And so I had her to back me up. At that time, she was a stay-at-home mom, so she wasn't working. So we were able to juggle it and make it work.
So how is it working with your sister?
So everybody asks us that. And now it's over 25 years that we've worked together in both my businesses. And most people are like, oh my gosh, there is no way that my sister and I would have lasted. The magic is that what she loves to do, I don't like to do. And what I love to do, she doesn't like to do. She has these amazing strengths that are not even on my top 10 and vice versa. So it works out really well. She handles all that techie stuff and all that behind the scenes stuff that I can't stand. And then I'm the one that's out front and she would never want to do that. So yeah, it works out. We have never had a fight or an argument in 25 years.
Wow. Sisters for sure.
Uh-huh.
So this must be very rewarding. Do you have any stories that you can share with us?
Rewarding. And the biggest one that comes to mind right now is that we had a class on a Saturday morning. My sister and I showed up and there was nobody there. About 30 minutes later, still nobody was there. So I called the person in charge. There are 2 locations and all the students were at one and we were at the other. She said, let's reschedule it. I said, no, give us 15 minutes. We'll be there. We drove over to top the class and there was this one woman in the class and she was just very unsure. She was very nervous. She really had a hard time doing her skills. And my sister worked with her the whole class. At the end of the class, she was leaving and she thanked us for the class. And she said, but I know that I'll never be able to do this. And I said, well, you know, you were here, you know how it works. So in an emergency like this, then you know you're the one that calls 911 or you're the one that goes outside and shows EMS where your victim is. You know, there's something that everybody can do if you don't feel comfortable with your skills. Well, that Monday afternoon, we get a call from her and her coworker came into work that morning. They were the only ones in the office. Her coworker went into cardiac arrest and she saved her life.
Wow. That's incredible.
And we have lots of stories like that.
She had to be so scared. I know how she feels because when something like that happens, you just hope that clicks in right away.
I'll tell you a secret because we hear that a lot in our classes. And I know it's happened to me because I've had a couple situations in the public where I've had to jump in and do CPR. You snap into this other mode where you don't even realize what you're doing. It's just full speed ahead. And everybody I talk to is like, oh, I never thought that I would retain this, that I would know what to do. Now, but they do. They jump in, they do everything they're supposed to do. And then after it's over, you collapse.
Yeah, right?
I remember my first situation in a restaurant. After it was over, I realized I'd been kneeling in glass and I felt like I'd run a marathon. I was just wiped out. But during the incident, you just jump in and do what you have to do.
Yeah, that adrenaline rush, I'm sure.
Yes,
you go.
That helps.
Explain the meaning behind let's make CPR recertification a want to, not a have to.
My soapbox about right now. That story that I just told you earlier. That woman was there because she had to be. That's a lot of the people that we see, and we know this in dentistry, is something I have to do every 2 years to keep my license. It's terrible to look at this as a have to check off, like this is just part of my CEUs I have to check off, because of how important it is. And it's not just important for work. You know, 98% of this time, this happens in your home. So this is going to happen with a loved one. And it is a really serious thing that we should look at is I really want to know this. I want to make sure that my skills are where they need to be, because if this were ever to happen, and I hope it never, like everybody I teach, I hope they never have to use anything I have taught them. But I want everybody to look at this as something I want to do. I want to be prepared if my loved one, my spouse, your doctor, whoever goes into cardiac arrest, you're there and you feel very good about what you need to do.
Yeah, it's so important. Like you said, it's someone you know, which can be even more dramatic and traumatic.
Oh, yeah.
So. Mm-hmm. You had some exciting things happen during the pandemic. Please share about that.
So both my companies took off during the pandemic. I was very jealous of my friends at home cleaning out their closets, because I was literally working 24/7. And the fun thing that happened with CPR is that up until the pandemic, CPR recertification was in person only. During the pandemic, American Heart came out and said, okay, we're changing the guidelines. You can teach it virtually. So I called my sister and I said, all right, I think there's something we can do here, but it's going to take a big leap of faith. We're going to have to invest a lot of money. But I just have this gut feeling it's going to work. And so we devised this whole virtual platform of how to teach CPR and had no idea if it was going to be effective, people would like it. And at the end of the day, what we have learned is that people are learning better this way. They're retaining it more this way. We have hundreds of testimonials from people that are like, I've been taking CPR for 30 years, and this is the absolute best I've ever learned it, and I am confident that I could save a life.
So can you explain how the virtual CPR works? Can anybody take this?
Yeah, so it's really fun. What you do is you let us know that you want to take the virtual version, and you can take this as an office, you can take it as an individual, you can take it as a DSO. We have models for everybody. And there are a couple of steps to it. There is a 30-minute live review tutorial that you join us, and I demonstrate all your skills. And if it's all dental people, then I will put in little tidbits of other things that make sense for dental emergencies, like can I do CPR compressions in the dental chair? And we go into administering naloxone and just a few other things and how to work as a team, all that good stuff. After that 30 minutes, you receive a link from the American Heart Association that we have already set up for you. And then you can take that on your own time, and you don't even have to take it all at once. You can take a little bit here because it'll save your progress. And that takes the place of the written test that you take when it's an in-person class. And it's a nice little tutorial. You watch some videos, you answer the questions. And when you're done with that, you receive a certificate. And then you email that certificate to us along with your shipping address. And then we ship a kit directly to your house or office, and it has everything in it you're going to need to do your skills assessment. It's got an adult mannequin, a baby mannequin, a bag mask, an AED trainer, and all the supplies that you need. Along with that, we send you a video that shows you exactly how to set the equipment up and exactly what we're going to test you on. You can keep that kit for a week if you want to and follow along with me on the video and feel super comfortable and confident by the time it's time to do your skills evaluation. And then what you do is you just go on our calendar and pick a time slot, and then we meet you face to face, and it's live. So that's how we can do this, is because your skills assessment has to be live. If it's live, it's live. And then they show us their skills. And once you're done, we email you a label to ship it on to the next student. And we email you your certification card, and we see you in 2 years.
Wow, that is really cool. I love this.
We just love it.
Why has this teaching method improved learners' confidence and retention?
When we started this, we really had no clue how this was going to work. What we have found is the way that's structured, everyone gets more one-on-one time with the instructor than they do in a traditional class. If you think about a traditional CPR class at a dental office, everybody stays after work on Wednesday night. We order pizza. The instructor comes in, throws the equipment on the floor. Everybody's tired. You go through the steps, and unfortunately, there's a lot of not so good instructors out there that let people get away with not even touching mannequins, which is horrendous. People leave those classes knowing, well, I checked this off, but they're not comfortable with what they're doing. So with our method, once you get that kit, you can practice for days if you want to. Most people get nervous when they're taking CPR. And this way, you don't have to. I mean, we get on calls and people are still nervous, but it's just them and us. It's not a whole group of people watching them perform their skills. By the time they get on the call with us, they practiced as much as they need to. They're comfortable. And then they've got a half hour so they can ask us a million questions. We can go over things with them. It's just phenomenal. The testimonials are saying that they're retaining it. We had another one just a couple months ago. A woman was in our class on Thursday night, and Friday morning at 3 a.m., her husband went into cardiac arrest. And she called us and let us know, I've taken CPR so many times, but I knew that after taking your class that night, I knew I would feel confident in what I had to do. And her husband, unfortunately, didn't make it. But she said, because it took EMS like 30 minutes to get there was part of it. But she said, she goes, I know that I did everything that I could do to try to save his life. And at the end of the day, that's all we can do. Sometimes it's just your time. But she knew from taking that class that she knew exactly what she was doing. And she didn't have to go back and second guess herself that, oh my gosh, well, maybe I didn't do my compressions right. And yeah, that makes the difference.
Can I take this as an individual hygienist, or is it just as a group or a DSO?
Well, anybody can take this. You can take it as an individual. You can take it as an office. You can take it as a DSO. The best thing to do is just contact us. Let us know what your situation is, and then we make it work for your situation. We have lots of individuals that take it.
And how does this benefit a DSO?
So we have contracts with 2 or 3 DSOs at this point, and they love it because we take everything off their hands. This is a big compliancy thing that can be a big headache, especially for a larger DSO. And they give us their list of all their employees and when they're due to renew their CPR. About 3 months before they're due, we start sending emails explaining how the class works and reminding them when they're ready to go. They just send us an email and we get going with it. They do this on their own time. So you don't have to close the office. People don't have to take time off work. They can do this at midnight if they want to. We do checkoffs 24/7. My sister, and this is the other reason we work so well together, is the night owl. And I'm up at 4 a.m., but I'm in bed at 8 p.m.
Right.
So we literally work 24/7. So you can do this completely on your own time. So you don't have to worry about downtime from the office. We walk the employee through giving them the American Heart Association part. We do their checkoff. And the really cool thing about the checkoff is the DSOs that we work with have equipment that lives in their offices. So we don't even have to worry about shipping things from person to person. It's in the break room. We keep it monitored. We keep the supplies going. And then after they're done, we email a certification card to the DSO and to the employee. And then we just keep track of it all. So we just completely take it off their hands and make it easy and wonderful.
I love this concept. This could be changing in the CPR world for sure. And I am so excited that you're doing this. So if people want to learn more, how do they get a hold of you?
The easiest way is go to our website. It's CPRsisterstraining.com. Or you can send us an email at info@CPRsisterstraining.com. And just say, want more information. And then either Darla or myself will give you a call back and we'll explain how it works and get you going.
Well, thanks so much, Deb, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. This is so great learning with you.
Thank you. We're excited about this program. We want the whole world to know about it, and we want to save lives.
Thank you for listening to the DSO Hygienist Podcast. Please follow or subscribe to be alerted of new episodes.